Okay, I just had a few questions today concerning how to get the reparations and as far as the governor signing an SB and how does that pertain to how to apply and what's the whole reparation is concerning in California.
Okay, so first, thank you for covering this. It's a historic meeting, historic hearing. We here right now, LA, California Science Center, African American Museum, all that, for the first LA California reparations public hearings. It's a 2-day hearing, so this is the second day. Today's Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for both days, Friday and Saturday. And the California Reparations Task Force, which is first reparations task force, state reparations task force in American history. California is the first state to actually create a state reparations task force.
Yes, sir.
It was done by the current governor, Gavin Newsom, with a law that he signed in 2020 called AB 3121. So people want to look that up online. AB 3121. The governor right now signed that law back in 2020 that created this California Reparations Task Force. This task force is doing these public hearings all across the state, once or twice, every one or 2 months. And the task force is meeting, public hearings, hearing from the public about what they want to be in the California reparations plan. This state reparations task force, their job is to do 3 things. First thing is to study reparations with a specific focus on California. The second thing is to educate the California public about what they learn. The third thing is to create the first ever state reparations plan. The state reparations plan is gonna be done in the summer of 2023. And that plan is gonna have what people say in these hearings. So if you hear about a hearing coming to your city, be at the hearings. If you can't be in person, you could be there virtually too. Task Force has a website. Our organization, CJEC, Coalition for a Just and Equitable California, we help write the law that got the task force created, and then we help get it passed. And now we're helping to make sure that these community hearings, these public hearings happen. We also doing community hearings and community listening sessions and community town halls and community meetings across the state to make sure that even more than the public hearings, there's even more opportunities for people to get involved. And again, the task force has to produce a plan for reparations for black people who descend from U.S. slavery specifically in this country and live in this state by the summer of 2023. That plan is then going to be turned over to the politicians up in Sacramento, and the politicians up in Sacramento are going to have to make that plan law, and that will actually make us the first state to actually do reparations for black folks, African Americans who are descendants of the people who were enslaved in this country. The black folks who actually built this country, came into this country in the bottom of the boats, slave ships, and of whom we are their children. We are their.
Now, how do y'all determine that? Like last name, social security? What's the process for that?
Yeah, so that's still being worked out.
Okay.
And that's part of what the task force has to do over the next year too.
So it'd be case by case basis, and how would you register if you were interested in getting reparations in California?
Still to be.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Right. All of those details are still being worked out.
All right.
But it is going to be for those black folks who descend from U.S. slavery, and they're going to put in place the processes to make sure that everybody who is a descendant actually gets it. Right?
And that's in California first, or
so
in
this
the
is
southern
only for
state?
California right now. Only
Okay.
for California right now. What we want to see happen is the federal government see what we're doing and then do it for the whole country.
Okay.
For those of us who descend from U.S. slavery. So hopefully, California is a big state. California, a lot of times California does stuff first.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
So what we hoping is that the federal government sees this and says, "Yo, California did this, the fifth biggest economy in the world. California, the state, has the 5th largest economy on planet Earth. Meaning this state by itself has larger economies than whole countries."
So how much money are we really realistically talking monthly wise if this does go through a proposal of would it be monthly payments or a one payment? How does this go? Property? What is it consistent of?
Yeah, so that's all of those details are still being worked out right now too, and that's part of why the task force is doing these hearings.
Okay.
To hear from the public and also hear from people who have done this before, but for other people. Right? For example, the Japanese folks. We actually heard from some of the folks who did the Japanese reparations today. The people who did the Japanese reparations came today to tell the California Reparations Task Force, this is how we did it.
Right.
This is what we did. This is how much we did. This is how people showed that they was there. So this is part of what the task force is holding these public hearings for, to answer those questions specifically.
Can we get a number from you? Can we get a number from you and your organization so you can guide those who are just want a number and just give very information?
Yeah. So the California Reparations Task Force is still working on their details, but from what we know, the U.S. the country owes those of us who descend from slavery at least $14 trillion, at least. Okay. Right. So if you break that down, California will be potentially responsible for something like 700 billion of that, right? Something like that. So that's what the country is responsible for, at least 14 plus trillion. So at least that, and California will be responsible for some part of that too. But again, the California Task Force is going to give us specific numbers. For example, if you look at the hearings that happened yesterday, the economists who job it is to put a price on it. So the task force actually hired four economists back in January, February of this year to figure out and to say how much is the reparations going to cost? What's the price on the reparations? And they told us about the 14 trillion, they told us about the 700 billion, but they still working on some of the other numbers too. So we don't have the details yet. We know it's a lot. Yes, sir. Right. And as for the how it's going to be, like frequency, like paid, like monthly, all that, still being decided. Right. We heard today that some of the other folks that did this do like quarterly, every 3 months thing. Some people do it, once. So there's different ways to do it. But again, this is why we're doing these public hearings. Okay. Number via email if they want to contact and register. Right. So if you want to connect with our organization specifically, it's cjecofficial@gmail.com. That's cjecofficial@gmail.com. You can also find us at cjecofficial.org. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at cjecofficial. Thank you, King. Bless.